Okay. So today's topic is role of music, laughter, and positivity on immunity. Let's see these three aspects. Next slide, please. Okay, first of all, what is laughter? There are two phases of it. When you laugh, your heartbeat goes up to 120 beats per minute, and there's a resolution phase. That's the resting period. So, what science states is when you laugh, the beta endorphins, catecholamines, cortisol, and growth hormones, which are the stress hormones, are reduced drastically. And the main part is natural killer cells, which kills viruses, are increased. I think in this pandemic situation, laughter can be given as a best medicine because it's free of cost and it's more and more effective. So, a scientist did an experiment. What he did was he took 10 people and he made the 5 of them watch a comic video, and the other 5 people he gave a lecture on diabetic mellitus. So, what was the result? In the first group who laughed by seeing the comic video, the diabetic mellitus, the sugar level was absolutely normal after measuring it. And in the second group who listened to the explanation of diabetic mellitus, they just had a random explanation, and in them there were no changes on it. Next slide, please. Again, a scientist named Wooten in 1995, he said, while laughing, endorphin is produced, which is equal to opium and morphine. It gives you lots of relief. Burke and Tan in 1996 made an experiment. Again, they took a people of 100 in number, and they separated them into two, and one watched funny videos and the other watched sad videos. In the result, after measuring all the cells in the blood, the people who watched all the comic videos and who laughed very well for 1 hour, in them the B cells, T cells, natural killer cells, and the gamma interferon increased very much. It increased drastically. I think in Facebook or in social media, if you type Dr. Vikram Kumar, Tirupatur in Tamil Nadu, what he did to this COVID patients in this pandemic was he made them laugh, he made them dance, he himself stood there and he laughed with them. For all of them, the COVID was cured. And recently, he got a medal for this from the chief minister. I think laughter plays a very great role in boosting immunity. Next slide, please. Again, Mary Payne Bennell. What she did was she gave the stimulus. The stimulus was laughter. Again, what happened was the reward system in our brain, which is situated in the hypothalamus, was stimulated. What it did, it increased the oxygen consumption. All of us know that oxygen is the main thing which is needed for a body, and it also increased the serum IgA level. All these things on the whole boosted the immunity very well. Next slide, please. Okay, now let's see what's the effect of music on immune system. There are different types of music, as all of us know, but the main part is we need to listen to the music which we like, which is very soothing to us. So when we listen to a music very soothing and nice, and when we feel calm, during that time, the brainstem activity and the heart rate and the hypothalamus is stimulated and activated. So as we saw before, the reward center is also activated. So for example, when you say Sarigama, at that part, the firing of the brainstem also takes part in that fashion. And all the good hormones are also released, like endorphins. And again, what this does is it increases the natural killer cells, IgA and interleukin 6, which plays a very good role in boosting immunity. But at the same time, when you listen to music which you don't like, and when it is a very harsh music, it drastically decreases the immunity. So that's why music plays a very important role in boosting up the immunity. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, let's see what's the effect of positivity on immunity, positive thoughts or positive touch or positive talk. I think before 5 years, $100 million drug named MK869 was introduced for reducing depression. Then it came out for a clinical trial, but it failed. It failed completely. Do you know what's the main reason for it? Two groups were there. For the first group, they gave this drug, and for the second group, they just gave a drug, but it was a normal sugar pill. That is, it was a placebo group control. The main reason for its failure was the people who took the drug, in them, the depression did not reduce. But in people who took a normal sugar pill and they were just told that it was a drug which was meant for reducing depression, in them, 99% of the people, they for all of them, the depression reduced. So here placebo won. So just compare the potential of the drug and the thought in your mind. So think again and again and see, it's not the drug which changes the disease in the body, it's your thought that brings all the good things in your body. So what does the thought do? When you think something, your brain activity acts according to it. And here in this particular aspect, your reward center is stimulated. You just become happy. You believe in it. You have hope in it. So obviously all the good hormones and healing process in your body activates and you heal soon. This was introduced by Mr. Deepak Chopra, an Indian scientist. I'll just give two examples. What he did was, he took 10 people, all of them had diabetic mellitus, and 5 of them he gave the medicines for diabetic mellitus, and for the remaining 5 people he again gave medicines, but it was a normal sugar pill, a normal pill which was not prescribed for diabetic mellitus. But then for them they told that it was a sugar medicine. After 5 days, when they observed, the placebo group control, that is the drug which was not actually for diabetic mellitus, the second group, for them, the sugar level was absolutely normal. It reduced. Again, in osteoarthritis aspect, they took 10 patients. For 5 patients, they took 10 patients who had osteoarthritis. In this, for the first 5 patients, they did operation, which is highly recommended. And in the other 5 patients also, they did operation, but it was not an actual surgery. They just did a suture saying that, we have did a operation for all the 10. But surprisingly, after 5 months, all the 10 of them were cured. This is ultimately saying that your positive thoughts cured your body. Again, Dr. B.M. Hegde says that mind is the environment of the body. Any damage to the environment, that is mind, causes severe damage to the body. Next slide, please. One more main experiment. This is very, very surprising. Oxford, Cambridge, and Hamburg University combined together and they did an experiment with a head who's named Bingle. So what they did was, they took patients who had pain, who had severe pain. I think all of us know what's the use of morphine. It reduces pain drastically, right? So what they did was, they divided the people who had pain, they divided them into 2 groups. For the first group, they gave morphine intravenously and told the patients it's not morphine. So people thought, oh, it's not morphine. So they didn't believe in it. For the second people, they gave normal saline. It just had sodium and chloride and stuff. And they told the patients that is morphine. So do you want to know what's the result? For the first group, there was no pain reduction because they didn't believe it. They didn't believe it was the medicine. They didn't believe it. For the second group, the pain reduced drastically because they believed that it is morphine. So here it's not the morphine which plays the role in decreasing the pain. It's your thought. It's the positivity that plays an important role in decreasing the pain. Next slide, please. Again, Dr. Grabo, he was a bypass surgeon. What he did was, again, he took all the people who had to undergo bypass surgery. And for the first 5 people, he did the bypass surgery. And for the rest of the 5, he just did a normal suture and just told them, I have did the surgery and after 6 months, you'll be perfectly all right. Surprisingly, all the 10 of them, even for the patients who didn't undergo the surgery, all the 10 of them were perfect after 6 months. And even after 1 month, after a year also, they checked his blood circulation level and heart rate and cardiac output. For all of them, it was absolutely fine. So this was another example where positive thoughts has an important, I think, major role in boosting up all the immunity and curing your diseases. So what happens when you have positive thoughts? When you say, I can do it, when you say it will be cured, when you say, I will be fine, your forebrain is awakened. So when you have no hope and when you don't have any positive thoughts, your forebrain sleeps. So when it is awakened, it secretes all the hormones which can cure all the diseases which is present within our body. But when we don't have hope, and when we don't have positive thoughts, it sleeps, and normally all those secretions will not take place, and the healing process will not happen in our body. So this is the power of positive thoughts. Next slide, please. Okay, this is my personal experience. I have I bought two plants. Both are the same plants. I bought it from the nursery before 4 months, and I started growing this in my house. So what I did was I watered them equally. I just gave manure to them equally. But for the first plant, which is grown big, I touched it every day, saying that you'll be fine, you'll grow well, and I touched it with positive thoughts. But the second plant, I didn't do it. So this is the picture after 3 months. Can you see the difference? This is proven. This, can you see the difference how the first plant has grown? So I think the positivity is not one. It is actually the major medicine which should be given to all the patients. All the nurses and doctors should boost them up, should say that they will be fine. And I think by those belief, they will be cured very easily. Nature has given all of this very freely. It's cost free. It's highly effective. Just because we use the words music, laughter, and positive thoughts and all words are used just like that in our day-to-day life, doesn't mean that it has no value. It has high value, and all the people in this world, all the doctors, all the scientists should understand it, and also should share all these thoughts to all the people in this world, so that people will be very happy, because healing occurs within the body by themselves, just because by believing it on them. Anciently, all these practices were indulged, and it was a part of a day-to-day life. For example, if you wake up in the morning, anciently in Tamil Nadu, in India, I'm saying, when you wake up, you'll after eating, you'll go to work. While planting the plants also, they sing, they hear music, and they plant. It was a very happy time. And after that, very frequently, they'll have functions, and they will laugh out loud. And every night, all the neighbors will come and gather at one place in their house or under the banyan tree. They'll sit and laugh together. Just because it was a very normal process of the day-to-day life doesn't mean it didn't have value. It had a lot of value, and that's why all the ancient people had a very great life. And as of now, we are not laughing much, we are not relaxing ourselves, we are losing hope. There are no positive thoughts in this world. And that's why our immunities are getting low. So take all these examples from the ancient people, and as it is being proven now, take that also in your mind and tell all and cure all with this positive thoughts and music and laughter. Thank you.